Now 23 minutes. Okay, 0 hours, 23 minutes. Alright, so this is for lesson 1. So again, this is Suggested Guide for Japanese Literacy, Course 3, which is the Remembering the Kanji Optimized, numbers 1 through 555. This is lesson 1, which are covering these 15 kanji. These 15 kanjis we'll also see are I think, like as I said, I think we'll avoid looking at the Hazig book. We'll keep this as if it's this gonna. All right, so we're gonna be learning here. Here are the kanji we'll be learning: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mouth, day, month, rice field, and eye. And we'll find out also not just the keywords, but we'll find out how to write a kanji, and we'll also learn other meanings for kanji. Only thing we are not going to be learning in this lesson or in this course are Japanese pronunciations. We are learning kanji. And kanji are used by more than just Japanese. So in this case, we're learning kanji as if it were an English concept. Alright, so these are the kanji. Also in this lesson, here are the primitives we will be covering. Either this primitive here we'll be using as either a ceiling or floor. This primitive we'll be thinking of as car key, or the number 5, or maybe 5 senses. This kanji here for diced or cut. This primitive here for baseball. This primitive for either for needle, and this primitive for mouth, which could be jaws, could cut or something. All right, we'll just. I won't do this here, this part then. I'll wait till it pops up. I'll refer to it when as it happens. This is the first time I tried streaming this as a lesson format, so it's going to be interesting. Alright, so what you do is you go to preview. Now right now the order of it starting at 9, but that's easy to overcome. All you do is go forward 6 spots. 12, 13, 14, 15, there we go. 1. Alright, now ignore these pronunciations. Those are there for later, for people like myself who, again, study Hazig, but then they begin learning vocabulary in Japanese, and then when they go back, this keyword starts being confusing because this keyword wasn't related to any of the words that they learned in Japanese, as far as the English translation for those words. So again, do not worry about pronunciation. This is not about pronunciation. This is about writing, remembering, recognizing kanji, and writing it from memory. Alright, so the key word is 1. So when you hear the word 1, think of one straight line, like the Roman numeral 1 laying down on the floor. When you see this in other kanji, think floor if it's near the bottom of the ceiling. So this is just as we showed in here. Yeah, so if it's at the top, it's a ceiling. If it's at the bottom, it's a floor. Alright, so let's see that. So right here. Okay, so here's 1. So start here. It's one straight line. One straight line. Alright. One straight line. Now, if it's at the top here, try to imagine it being the ceiling of the ceiling of something, or the top of something. All right, and you'll also see it in other kanji, like it'll be something right here, and then this is at the bottom. When it's there, think of it as the floor of something, baseboards or something, whatever. Maybe even the carpet. So maybe this could be ceiling fan, and this could be carpet. Maybe that'll make things a little easier for you. Ceiling fan and carpet. Those are probably easier visuals than ceiling and floor. Ceiling fan, carpet. Alright, so that's 1. 2. Alright, this is 2 strokes. This is the Hazig number for 2. Alright, so now it's the Roman numeral 2 on its side. Now imagine 1 short stroke and 1 long stroke. Other kanji, just think 2. Now, you'll see these in other kanji. So just think 2 of something, as I say. So let's bring up here. Alright, so this is 2. So this is what we're learning. We're learning 2. So it's 1 short stroke near the top half, middle of the top half, and then 1 long stroke in the middle of the bottom half. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. And again, when you see this with other things, think of two of something. Usually it's going to be, you may see it like this, and we'll be learning this real quick. You'll see it like that, and just think of two sets of legs, two pairs of legs, or two people's legs. All right, for example. All right, so that's two. 3. So 1 plus 2 equals 3. Or 3 is equal to 1 plus 2. So it's going to be the stroke order 1, then the stroke order for 2. Remember, one short line, one long line. 1, 2, 1 plus 3 is 1 plus 2. Alrighty. Here we go. So there's 3. 3. And 3 is 1 plus 2. 3 is 3. And then you might see people refer to this in other kanji, like, but we're going to think of it as shape. You might see it like in this right here. You might also see it like this right here. Usually see it like that, which is me, the katakana for me, and also you might see it like in, let's see, shape, something like that. For that, that's not going to be 3, even though it's 3 little slashes, but in that case it's going to be referring to things like shape or whatnot, depending on what side of the kanji it's on. But anyway, so this is 3, and it's also the katakana for me, or mitsu. Yeah, so that's the katakana for me, mitsu, me. Alright, so that's 3. Next up. 4. Now here's where I think Hazig made a mistake by introducing numbers first, because you're seeing parts of kanji that he hasn't taught yet. So so I'm going to have to cover that on its own. So this is the case is going to see is this is kanji for mouth. It's also the primitive for what I call the peg leg and club foot. There's probably an actual, or JL, or whatever you want to see it. There's probably a primitive. There's probably a radical name for it. I just don't know it. All right. So jaw is a for pirates. Now you see the peg leg and club foot sticking out of its mouth. So also for mouth, you'll probably think of Cookie Monster. So here we go. So let's write that out. All right. So here we have is 4. So we have you gotta love this 4 and peg leg club foot. All right. So first thing you want to do is draw the kanji for mouth. So here's the stroke order for that. Okay. Mouth. And now, then you add the peg leg and club foot. Alright, so this, what I'm calling the peg, so this is mouth. So think of that, I'll teach you again that later on in this lesson that's for jaws, or Cookie Monster, something like a mouth that eats stuff. For this, think of as peg leg and club foot. What I think of as pirate legs. So right here, this right here, it looks kind of like all curves off to the side, and I call that the peg leg. And then you have here, kind of probably a little more smooth than that, but I call that the club foot. So peg leg and club foot. And you, again, you see it up here in beginnings, and then you see it. You'll see it in other. You'll see this in many kanji. But yeah, so I usually refer to that as peg leg and club foot. So there we go. So you have to do mouth. Now I did this wrong, by the way, and I apologize. Oops. All right. So ignore this first half real quick. Let me just redo this real quick. Sorry. All right. So you're going to do the top half of mouth. Then you do peg leg and club foot. There's peg leg. There's club foot, then you close off the mouth. Peg leg, club foot, mouth. Alright, so yeah, I'm sorry I made that mistake. Alright, so that's 4. Top part of mouth, peg leg, club foot, close off the mouth. And there's jaws 8, 4 pirates. 4 pirates are eaten by jaws, and their peg leg and club foot are sticking out the mouth. Good. Alright, so that's 4. Next up. Okay. 5. Again, this is using kanji. This is using parts that are taught later on in the book. Primitives are taught later on in the book, and you're seeing it right now. So in this case, what you're going to be seeing is ceiling or ceiling fan, and stick, and key. All right. Basically, when you're bored, it's 5 o'clock. You throw 5 keys to stick to the ceiling. So let me show you what I'm talking about there. That's 5. All right. So let's clear this. Control delete. Okay. So first off, it's 5, and I probably could do this with. Probably could do that. So do the ceiling, the stick, then the key. All right. So here's the stroke. So here's the ceiling or ceiling fan. So let's again. It's 5 o'clock in the evening, and your time's ready to quit. So it's 5 o'clock. So you look up at the ceiling fan. You're bored, so you want to start. You're going to do. You want to leave, but you can't. So you got your 5 keys, and you're looking at the ceiling. You want to toss the keys through the ceiling fan and see if it can stick to the ceiling. All right. So there's that. Here's the stick to stick to the ceiling. Here's the, now right here, we're going to show you real quick. This right here is stick. One straight line stick. In this case, it's slanted a little bit. In this case, it's slanted a little bit, but yeah, that's stick. And then also what you're going to learn is this thing called key. It also looks like, if you know, U is the, like, it's YU or U for kana, katakana. But when you see it used in other kanji, you'll see it as you think of a car key. So in this case, stick and car key. In this, I usually think of a bladed of a naga, but don't worry about that. Okay. Sometimes I think of this whole thing as, yeah, that right here. I think of that whole thing as, okay. So there we got the ceiling, the stick, first part of the car key, ceiling, the stick, second part of the car key. Alright, good. And there you go. So you quit at 5. Quit at 5. Line, down, and then finish it off with the car keys. Alrighty. So what else we got? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay, and you can actually think of it, the line and the thing. You'll see them both. Might think of the whole thing as a car key. Alright, next up. Okay, and again, we're seeing 2 parts of a new kanji. We're seeing top hat and animal legs. So here we have top hat, animal legs. And again, these are taught later on in the book, but he throws these at you at the very first 10 kanji, completely undermining what he was telling you about. Okay, so I'm going to have during these lessons, I'm going to have some complaints about how Hazik presented material and how, but the beauty of the internet is that through group effort, I think these group loved what Hazik did, and they improved on what he did and made it in a much more better system of learning. Alright, so here we have is top hat, 6, top hat, and animal legs. So what can you create with that story? So there's top hat, there's animal legs. Alright, so imagine a gorilla with 6-pack abs. Actually, let me go and edit that. Can I edit that? Choose another name. Alright, let me edit that. Imagine a gorilla. Here we go. Imagine a gorilla with 6-pack abs. Okay, there we go. Let's save that. It's supposed to. Alright. So imagine a girl with 6-pack abs, wearing a top hat, dancing on little animal legs. Alright, there we go. So I think it's pretty simple to think of that. So first off, let's show you the. So here's top hat. And it's usually at the top of kanji, so it's usually you got other stuff here. And this we'll say is car key. Car key. We'll call the whole thing car key. Alright, so top hat is do a straight line down, straight down. About, you can see in the top half, top half of the top half. And then basically do 1. And that's top hat. Think of the top hat of Abraham Lincoln, stove top hat. Top hat. Then what we have here are, usually they're down here. Animal legs. So it's usually 1, 2. And if you know the kanji for hachi, for 8, it's also, but it's like smaller versions of that. And you're going to see this usually it's at the bottom of kanji stuff. So those are little animal legs. Alright, so for 6, you're going to see is top hat. Oh, I guess it would help if Well, anyway, let's back up a little bit. All right. So you do a little stove top of the top hat. Finish off the stove top. Stove top, one leg. Stove top, boom, both legs. Boom, 6, done. Yep. Alright, so that's a kanji for 6, and there's all sorts of pronunciations for it, but don't sweat that. Alright, 6. Next up, what else you got? Alrighty. Actually, let me do something real quick. Let me shrink this down a little bit. Come on, you. It's weird. It's like it doesn't want me to... Huh. That's kind of weird. Alright, good. Okay. So that's 6. I don't recall that being... Anyway, I don't recall 6 being used in other kana. Or other kanji. Alright, so that's 6. So next up. Next. Hello? There we go. 7. Alright, so it's a slice and clubfoot. Let me make sure. So here's the stroke order real quick. Let me go and bring that up. So it's going to be a slice, then the clubfoot. Okay. So here think 7 samurai, where in one scene you see the slice of the sword cuts off the clubfoot of one of the bad guy pirates. So 7 samurai, slice of the sword cuts off somebody's club-footed leg. Now when you see this in other kanji, when you see it in as a primitive other kanji, you're going to think either slice or dice or cut or chop, maybe just a butcher's knife, you know, a small knife. Okay, let's bring up story. Okay, Control Enter, get rid of this stuff. Alright, so this is what we're doing, and it's going to be a slight upwards right there, slightly up, and then do the clubfoot. Boom, 7. Yeah, slightly upward, then the clubfoot. Thing 7 samurai. And again, you might see this in other kana, right there. And that's fine. Again, this something's happening here, or it might be on the other side. It doesn't matter. Just think of the number, either a sword slicer if you need to. Maybe samurai with a sword. Samurai with a sword. Sure, that can work. There is a samurai kanji, but that guy you just don't use as a sword. You just think of, you know, in this case, Kurosawa, somebody from Kurosawa cutting somebody in half, cutting somebody's leg in half off. All right, that's 7. Next up, 8. Now here, the font in is going to be different. You're seeing what the font looks like, which is different than what you're actually going to be writing it down. So there's how it looks in fonts, and there are various fonts for kanji, and kana. And that's different than how you normally write it. Same as like you've seen the letter A with the little hook at the top of it, and nobody writes it with the little hook over the top, but it's just how some of the letters are written. Or how the G has a little, you know, circular little closing at the bottom. It's how some fonts are designed. And that's not how you're going to write. So anyway, this 8, 8 mountains on the horizon. So just imagine, however you want to think of it as 8, because think of these are like 2 little mountains. And when it's designed, 8 little mountains on the horizon, and these are kind of like the sides of the mountains. When you see these and they're smaller at the base of a kanji, then you're going to think of animal legs, maybe 8 animal legs on a spider. Alright, so let's write this out. Boom. Okay, so here we have let's go over here, 8. So we have 8, and then we start at the top. Oh, let me go back here. Okay, 8. 8. And just make sure here's the stroke order. Right there. So maybe not that off, maybe not that exaggerated. You can. It shouldn't matter. As long as you don't connect them. If you connect them, it might look like a different kanji, which is enter. Okay. So yeah. So it looks like, yeah, they kind of did it, kind of like that. Let's see how Hazig did it, just for S and G's. All right. So here's Hazig's book on 8. Yeah, right there. Yeah, he kind of did it either evenly or a little slightly off even. Okay. Alrighty. So that's 8. And again, when used in other as a primitive, you're going to see it like this. You'll see other stuff above it. Yeah, so just think of 8 little, yeah, right there. Or let me actually do the stroke order. 8. Alright, and that might be something like, you might see it like boom, 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 snap, bam, which is something we'll be learning later. Okay, cool, so that's 8. Next. Alright, so this is going to end the preview portion, so I have to restart the preview because it started at 9 for some reason. Okay, preview. Alright, so here we are with 9. Peg leg, 1, club foot. Now, this actually is going to be one stroke. The 1 and the club foot are going to be merged together. And when you see it in other kanji, think of a baseball team as in 9 people on a baseball team. Or think of baseball or a baseball team. Show the stroke order real quick. So there's the stroke order. So peg leg, and then the second stroke order is all 1. Good. Here's briefly. Yeah, it's different than power, what he's mentioning there. Okay. There's not too much to this. Alright, so let's do it. So, what we're going to do is 9. So, do right there. Follow with that, and then come on. Alright, so do the peg leg. So imagine you're on a baseball team, and you got peg leg. Instead of shoeless Joe, you got peg leg and club foot Joe. So he's got the peg leg, and he's got the club foot, which is dragging behind him, which drags, and think of that 1 as being the dragging the club foot behind him. Peg leg and club foot, peg leg and club foot, and that's 9. And again, if you see it like in, let's say for example, let's say for example we got that, and here for research, Kinju. Yeah, it's kind of, it looks weird, but yeah, if you see it like here, you'll have it. It might be stuff right here, or it might be stuff here where there's stuff contained. Either way, you will see it. This thing, again, of baseball, you might change the story up a little bit to reference each of the different ways it's done. In fact, here's the different primitives. Let's see. Yeah. Well, I don't demonstrate the different ways it's written. More's the pity. Alrighty, so that's 9. 9 members of baseball. Alright, keep going. 10. What's the time right now? 45 minutes. We started at 23. Wow, okay. Well, it's been 20 minutes so far. This may take longer than I thought. Okay, so here we have, think X in Roman numerals turned a bit. Boom, angled a bit. In this case, when you another way you can, I don't know. Yeah, so think of the Roman numeral X turned a bit. You can also think of, when we see another kanji, you can think of needle, like an injection needle. Or maybe the needle for a sewing needle. Depends on how you want to, depends on how your story goes. Let's see, here's the stroke order, real quick. Here's, let's see, Hazing does anything special, needle, and it would be either at the top or the bottom. Alright, cool. So, worry about that. Alright, so here's 10. Do 1 straight across, 1, and a stick. That's 10. That is 10. Alright, and you might see it drawn like this. You also might see it drawn at the top like this. So, 1, boom, 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 boom. So these are what you said. And again, you can think of either needle, or that might actually be pin cushion or something. I don't know. You can think of something to help you distinguish whether it's at the top of something or at the side of something for needle. And you can also use number 10 if you want to. You're not beholden to use these primitives, just only the primitive meanings. You can use the original meaning as well. Alright, so that's 10. What's next? Mouth. Alright, so this is the circle of a mouth that's been squared up in kanji land. Okay, cool. When you see another kanji, think Jaws or Cookie Monster. Fair enough. Okay, so let's go to, let's see what we got. There's the stroke order, you'll see it. And there you see it in other mouths. Jaws, Cookie Monster. Alright. I need to stop just worrying about that part. Maybe I'll just read ahead of time. Let me press Control Delete. Alright, so here we go. Now, we've gone through, now, from here on out, you're not going to see anything in any other kanji that hasn't been introduced. Unfortunately, for these numbers 1 through 10, he introduced primitives or smaller portions of kanji that he hasn't taught you what they meant yet. So I taught you what they meant. That probably made these lessons take a lot longer than what it should have. So that's the reason why we're at the 20-minute mark, and we've only covered 10 kanji. In the future, they should go a lot faster. Okay, so in this case, we're going to be covering his mouth. Now, we already kind of taught this, so here we go again. So it's downward stroke, down across, down, cross, completed. You might hear this as mouth, but also if it's outside of something. If it's something is inside, that's going to be a different kanji called pinten. Do not worry about that. Okay? What we are only concerned with is if it's outside. So anyway, that's mouth. If it's like at the side here and something, or it's at the top and something. All right, same idea. But again, the primitive is still written the same way. You might have it where you write it and then draw something inside like the number 4. That's fine. You can still think of it as mouth, or you can think of it as pinten, whichever way you wish. It does work either way. All right, so that's mouth. Cookie Monster, Jaws. Next up, day. So this is mouth in 1. So it's really drawing mouth, but in the middle of that, you're going to use the kanji for 1. All right, when you see this in other kanji, think of sun, like a sun with sunglasses. So I just think of the little cartoon picture of a sun wearing sunglasses, like the one from Raisin Bran. 2 scoops. Okay, what do we got? Okay, so let's do here. So this is day. So let's do the whole kanji first, then the stroke order, and later on. Oh, okay. It helps if I skip. Alrighty. So draw the 1, 2, 3, and connect it. It's a different kanji if you don't connect that entirely. Not that people probably know what you mean though. All right, and that's the kanji for day. You also use it like in sun, nichiyobi, day or sun. You might see it off to the side here. You might see it off. I don't think yeah, you might see it at the top like this. Boom, 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 boom. On the side, boom, 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 boom. Again, think of sun. Sun rising, doing something. Sun. All right, what's next? Moon. Think of the crescent moon with 2 lines. So this is month, but think of the crescent moon with 2 lines representing. I'll draw that as well. This is used almost connectively with both moon and month. Moon and month. Same as sun and day, moon and month. They're used interchangeably so often it's like it's the same thing. But yeah, moon and month. And then when you see it in other kanji, and I'll explain why, you want to think of this as being either moon if it's not body-based. But if it's something body-based, think of it as being flesh or a turkey drumstick. You might use turkey drumstick for anything. But all right, so here we go. So here we go. So first thing is it's kind of curved like this, kind of like the peg leg. Then 2 lines underneath. All right, so kind of like sort of the peg leg, sort of kind of like a bound, and sort of. Actually, that's curved a little bit sometimes. All right, and that's finished. Now you might also see it in other kanji like this, completely flat. When it's completely flat like this, just think of month. If it's kind of curved like this, I think, and I could be wrong here, I think you want to think more of as flesh of the body, because something like, I don't know, something like that. Who knows? Anyway, there's something here on the side. Now the reasons for it is that there was this kanji for meat, which then became dry, which soon eventually became this. So that became that. Also, what you'll see, try and make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this depends on how you want to do it. So you want to think of it as month. That could help you, whether it needs to be If it's the moon itself, make it a straight line. If it's more fleshy part of the body, make it a curved line. Or turkey drumstick. So if it's turkey drumstick, it's more curved, depending on how you want to work with it. That could be a way to distinguish if you want to be really perfectionist about the way you write your kanji. All right, cool. So that's moon or month. In fact, let's real quick. Let's see what if Hazik says anything on that. There's Mao. There's day. Saith. Don't worry about that. Yeah, you see right there. He kind of curves it and hooks it a bit. Man in the moon. Yeah, moon, flesh part of the body. He doesn't mention too much about it. Okay. All right, so that's moon. All right, rice field, and this is one where. All right, looks like a rice or a farm field viewed from, like you're flying over in an airplane. You look down. It looks like a segmented off field of rice paddies, and the third stroke is going to be down, not across, as opposed to how some people probably think about writing it. Now, when you see it in other kanji, you could think field, a farm field, or you can also use a picture of a brain, because think of, I know there's two hemispheres, but think of 4 lobes of the brain if you want to, or think of brain as in Pinky and the Brain, the little mouse, little white mouse with the big head who wants to take over the world and fails all the time. All right, so we got brain, Pinky, yeah. All right, so that's brain. Let's, but normally it's rice field, ta. Okay, so here we go. So here we are. Let's write it out for you real quick. You notice I went down first, then across. Okay, so let's do the stroke order real quick. Now again, this third stroke is down. Then you finish it off. Down. So it's down, cross, cross. Good. All right, and it depends on how you want to see it. Like I think for here, I always thought of, there's one that I remember you in this kanji here, which I usually think of that as like a monster. There's the monster's mouth, and there's the monster's with its brain exposed with little horns on it, or something movie monster thing. But you know, again, depends on how you do it. Or you can use Pinky and the Brain. Whatever. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Do I see it in? Yeah, you'll see it in all sorts of places around. You know, bam, 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 or whatnot. All right. So that's one more kanji in this lesson, and I will go on a break. I'll go on a quick break and then come back. I just want to go pour myself some coffee. Okay, so let me get rid of this. What's the last one? Rice field. Alright, so this last one is I. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to show you as well. I'll tell you what, before I get to I real quick. One last thing. What was happening with moon? Imagine moon right here, and also you have is sun. Sun. So what was happening is this, and this think of little clouds going past the moon. This probably eventually became that. And then this, what happened is the circular, everything circular kind of got squared off. So that's why that became, that goes into that little line here, the little dot in the center instead lined out. Okay. That might be what happened. Again, I'm not worried about the history of kanji so much as how it's used currently. And that's really what we're going to, but sometimes it is fun to learn the history if it's available, and if I know it, and if it's for fun. All right, it's not a necessity, just a nicety. So here we have is I, and that's going to lead into why I drew the little pictures there. So it looks like an I that's been squared up on kanji and turned on its side. So if you see it in other kanji, think eyeball or cyclops, and if it's at the top of it right there, it'll be think eye of sorrow. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so here we are. So what we're going to do is going to do I. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do the stroke order. 1. So it's almost like the stroke order for moon or sun. Sun right now. So you do 1, 2, and then finish it off. 3. 1, 2, 3. And the way they're trying to say is like, okay, so it sort of looks like, imagine you had this, all right? All of a sudden, the little circles got straightened out right there, and then this thing got kind of, outside thing kind of got squared off. So, you know, again, you can kind of imagine. And again, it looks like there's the eye on its side. So, or maybe it looked like you have this, this, and this, and that became this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now, The way you're going to see this in other kanji, as they're saying, it might be, you might see it at the top, right here, with stuff underneath, or you might see it like here on its side, with things. And when it's like this, just think of Eye of Sauron. Imagine the Eye of Sauron doing something, watching over the little minions or whatnot. Okay, good. All right, so that's the first 15 kanji of lesson 1. All right, what's probably going to happen, because this is the first time I've been trying this, it's as I find a better way of going through this, it's not wasting time. Like, again, I'm already deciding, okay, I probably won't be rushing to Hazig's thing too often. For one, again, I'm not going to read his book out to you. I do that for a dictionary of basic Japanese grammar. I'm not going to do it for his book, because it's not really that important. It's about getting a story across to you, and I think I've got the stories that are better than what, in a lot of cases, okay, not in a lot of cases, in a number of cases where Hazig has it, and this might just be confusing anyway. Same with stroke order. I might refer to this, but again, that's not too important. Yeah, I could. All right. So anyway, so that is, again, lesson